Welcome to WorkTnE. In this demo we will show how to add timesheet and expense entry along with submission process. On the login page, provide your company name. Provide your username. Provide your password. And click on Login to proceed further. Now you will be able to see the dashboard with menu options on the top right side of the page. Top 3 projects under Project List. You can view top 3 timesheet activities under Recent Time Activity here. On clicking the Click Here to View All button under the Recent Time Activity, redirects to Timesheet List page for viewing all timesheet activities. You can view top 3 expense activities under Recent Expense Activity here. On clicking the Click Here to View All button under the Recent Expense Activity, redirects to Expense List page for viewing all expense activities. On clicking the Submit button, the expense entry will be submitted for approval process based on the time period shown. On clicking the Email button, the expense entry will be sent through email based on the time period shown. On clicking the attachment icon of the expense entry, single or multiple files can be attached for the expense entry for the time period shown. On clicking the date range link, will display the details in a pop-up. Click on the close icon to return back. On clicking the Projects menu in top right side corner of the page, all your assigned project details can be seen. You can see the manager name, file mandatory options, time period options allocated for the project. On clicking the Search button, Advanced Search is available for filtering the project records. On clicking the Projects menu in top right side corner of the page, you can view or add or edit or delete the timesheet entries for the current week, by default in the list view. By providing the From End to Date from the date picker and clicking Submit button will display the timesheet for the give date range. By clicking on Add button, select the project and task accordingly to provide the time entry and notes for the date range, and clicking on Save button will display timesheet updated successfully. These entries can be seen under Recent Time Activity section by scrolling down the page. On clicking the date range link, will display the details in a pop-up. On clicking the Submit button, a pop-up will display. By clicking on OK, the status will be changed to Submitted. The submitted entries will be non-editable. An email update will be received on the submitted timesheet. By selecting a specific project and clicking on Edit button, will allow to provide the time and update the notes for that specific time entry. Then by clicking on Update button will save the entry and display timesheet added successfully. And display the entries in non-editable mode. By clicking on the Daily tab and then clicking Add Time will display a pop-up with today's date. Select project name, select task name, provide the hours and minutes, and clicking Save will display daily timesheet added successfully. You also have an option to enter timesheet for current date by clicking the Play button at the top of navigation. You can view or submit or attach file for Recent Time Activity at the bottom of the list and daily pages. By clicking on the Monthly tab, timesheet will be displayed in a monthly view. By clicking on the expense menu item on the top right side of the page will display the expense entries for the current week, by default in the list view. By providing the from and to date from the date picker and clicking submit button will display the expense entries for the give date range. By clicking on Add Expenses, select the project name, select the task name and clicking on Next button display all expense section. Select the date. Select the expense description. Enter the amount. Provide the notes, click Save. Click the checkbox under Billable. Click on the attachment icon to attach files. By clicking on Save icon will display expense added successfully. Click on the Trip Details tab. Select the date. Provide the trip from. Provide the trip to. Provide the miles. Provide the toll, optional. Provide the parking, optional. Click the checkbox under Billable. Click the checkbox under Reimbursed. By clicking on Save icon will display expense added successfully. By clicking on the View will display the expense details, wherein edit and delete options are available. These entries can be seen under Recent Expense Activity section by scrolling down the page. By clicking on the attachment icon of a specific expense entry will show a pop-up, wherein multiple files can be attached. By clicking on Submit button, a pop-up will display Are you sure you want to submit the expense? By clicking on OK the status will be changed to Submitted. Hope you can now enter time and expense in WorkTnE. Please contact support at WorkTnE.com for further assistance or feedback regarding WorkTnE system.